I don't want to get in between this because I'm just going to be very, very practical here.
Why? Who's not being practical? Throw us a subscribe, a review, whatever you want. It
How many
helps out.
subscribers do we have now?
Let's keep that in-house. You would clearly enjoy the Biggie concert more than the Prince concert.
Easily. You'd walk out of the Prince show, you'd be like, I should have fucking picked him.
All right, we're going to talk about flip-flopping. We're going to talk about this kid Matt here.
What did I do?
You know what you
I'm a
did.
pillar of consistency.
This is a trash brand. Come on. You could do better. This is a Grizzly.
Well, hello everybody, and welcome back once again to the live stream of the Memo podcast. See, this is what happens when you go live. You can do the worst possible things. We're here. We're going to talk about
have a mustache.
Like have a mustache. I was hoping nobody would notice. I didn't think it was that obvious. We're here. We're going to talk about our favorite thing, which is the roller coaster that is the NFL football season. We're excited to have all four of us once again. You know, last week we only had three, but Mr. Alex Masados is back. You know how we do it around here. We start with the hometown report, the very negative hometown report each week with the Jets and the Giants. Then we talk about some fun stuff that happened over the weekend, some stuff that happened in the games, things that stood out to us. Then we do our weekly picks that involve the fans this year. So if you guys have anything off the top you want to say before we get into it.
Yeah, I mean, I think the viewers obviously do want to know. You can't, bury the lead here. Let's talk about the mustache and what kind of went into the thought-making process here.
Okay, well, here's the thing. When you have a girlfriend, they're very, picky about sometimes they want you to have a beard. Sometimes they don't want you to have a beard. Sometimes they'll be like, oh, it looks great. And sometimes they'll say, I want you to have a baby face. And my girlfriend was like, I'm done with the beard. Shave it off. So she got a mustache.
Wow. She also got a mustache. She also got a mustache.
She also got a mustache. Yes. Very
good for you,
spiteful,
Alyssa.
Yeah.
Good for you, Alyssa.
But yeah, I think it looks good. I like it.
I mean, it looks.
It's something.
Looks like something.
Yeah.
Looks like a mustache.
What'd I say? I could get used to it. But
well, you got a little bit of your own little mustache going on there. You got
I got
French,
like a
it's
little
like a French look. So it's
you got the Tony
missing
Stark
like the
look going. You might come out in an Iron Man suit next episode. No, you don't want to? Okay, we'll move on. All right, so we do have the hometown report to get into. Like we said, once again, just a lot of negative news going around.
Depressing segment we have here.
But let's start with a little, some quick news. Maybe we could find a name for this little segment. Something
quick news sounds good.
The quick news segment off the top, where we don't have to get too into it, but stuff does happen in the league that I think we should talk about. C.J. Henderson gets traded to the Carolina Panthers for a third-round pick and Dan Arnold. Dan Arnold on his way out of Carolina, very big legend over there.
C.J. Henderson?
Throwing curveballs at us to start the show.
Yeah.
Who is that again?
Top 10 pick last year, cornerback.
On the Jaguars.
He was on the Jaguars, traded to the Carolina Panthers after that J.C. Horn broken foot. So it's something to keep an eye on. Look, we don't have to get into it. I just think we should cover all the bases here that goes on.
Yeah, I mean, C.J. Henderson was the number 9 overall pick, if I'm not mistaken, or was he 10 last year?
Number 9.
Number 9, and he lasted one season in Jacksonville before they traded him. Good move by the Panthers, obviously. When J.C. Horn goes down, they made a quick pivot to go get another young cornerback and really didn't have to give up that much. I mean, you are sacrificing the Sam Darnold to Dan Arnold combination, which I think we all really wanted to see this season. And then a third-round pick, and they actually got a fifth-rounder back. So I'm shocked that Jacksonville would do this. I know C.J. Henderson hasn't been that great. But it's 1 year, and no rookie corners were that good last year, and it's usually a tough position to adjust to, but good for Carolina.
Yeah, I mean, just the value, a third round pick for someone who was just a top 10 pick. I mean, and I'm sure when they said you have to throw in Dan Arnold, that was like, oh, no. Man, not Danny. But
Who's their tight end?
They have that guy Smith or something. No, Ian Thomas. Irv Smith was the Vikings guy. Ian Thomas, and they have that rookie Tommy Tremble, who he's like week to week been looking pretty solid. He's the youngest tight end ever to rush for a touchdown. So
stupid stat.
Yeah, I saw that the other day. But but if they can develop him, J.C. Horn comes back. two young, very athletic corners could be something to monitor there. But you know, one thing before we move on, it sucks because the Jacksonville tried to sign Dan Arnold, and he turned them down. He did not want to play there.
Are you serious?
Yeah, and now he just has to go there.
That's funny. So they really wanted him. They didn't even want the third round pick.
Yeah,
they were just like, we're getting Dan Arnold one way or a fucking another. And this is how we're gonna do it.
Yeah. So that's our off the top right there, and now we can move in to our hometown report with our fellow Jets and Giants. This week, we normally start with the Jets. This week, we're going to start with the New York Giants, who fell to the Atlanta Falcons on a game-winning field goal. It was 17-14. Am I right about that? I hope I am, because that's what I wrote in the description here. So if anyone wants to get started with that, I wish we had a Giants fan on the show to give us the energy that we're going to get for the next segment. But
I'll start it off. I just thought overall that was a really boring game. I really liked to see that Saquon kind of got back a little bit on track, with that touchdown. He jumped over the entire offensive and defensive line. But I was saying this to a few of my friends, Giant fans, and I just kept saying, I don't think Daniel Jones is the guy. After this performance, going 0-3, I just don't see him as your, franchise quarterback. And they're like, no, he really is the guy. You just got to give him more time. And it's like, as Jet fans, we've been there, done that, and we know it's time to move on. But listen, at the end of the day, you have to put up more than 14 points on offense. League average is 20, 24 points. So you got to get it at least there. And they really just have, at least for that game, they haven't done that.
Especially against the Falcons.
Yeah, exactly.
The Falcons are one of the worst teams in the league. I think Jets and Giants fans kind of share this somewhere in between denial and optimism. And we'll get to that more with Jet fans, but yeah, if there are any Giant fans out there that think Daniel Jones is still the guy, I got some bad news for you. The guy is pretty shitty. Turns the ball over a lot. He's pretty inaccurate. He can run, but you're a quarterback. At some point, you're going to have to pass the ball, and he's just not very good at it.
I've seen some Giants fans saying that he seems like one of the only guys that's been showing up, but 267, 249, 266 passing yards in the first 3 games of the year.
He hasn't thrown an interception yet.
Yeah, only 2 passing touchdowns. I know he's rushed for some, but I guess you want to see him do more against the Falcons. What I'm wondering is, this Jason Garrett experiment, is that something that they're spending too much time on?
It's horrible.
It doesn't seem like he really knows what he's doing. He doesn't. They have a lot of weapons over there, and it just never seems like they're schemed to get open. They just started using Saquon how we thought they should. He finally had more than 2 receptions. Maybe they were easing him back in, but it's like you said, it's the Falcons. You expect him to do at least something against what looked like one of the worst teams in the league through 2 weeks. What do you guys think about? We've been saying for years now. It seems like we said Gettleman's on the hot seat. He's got to be on his way out. I'm sure we all still agree with that. What do you think about Judge?
I want to go. Let's go back to Jason Garrett a little bit because it seems like they have the most vanilla, basic, boring offense I've ever seen in my life. And you mentioned the weapons that they have on offense. Sterling Shepard and I think Darius Slayton both left this game with injury. But aside from that, they did have a pretty solid wide receiver group and obviously Saquon Barkley. Jason Garrett, since he's been the offensive coordinator of the Giants, let me just go through some stats here. They're 31st in points per game, 31st in explosive pass plays. I don't know how you exactly define that. 30th in points per drive, 28th in yards per play, and 32nd in down and distance on third down. So it's actually the worst offense in the NFL by significant margins, it seems like. And at this point, he's got to be the first one to fall. If they keep losing, they have to make the switch at offensive coordinator, at least look like you're doing something. But yeah, Daniel Jones, while he obviously hasn't looked very good, he's not the problem, I don't think, right now. I think there's a lot of deeper issues with the team. especially their defense hasn't really done anything. And they did lose 2 back-to-back games on game-winning field goals. So a couple things swing differently. Maybe they're not 0-3. But, I mean, either way, there's no getting around the fact that they're not a good football team. They're a bad offense, and they don't look particularly good. But I don't know. It seems like a weird start.
Yeah. Just before you go, Alex, so just see we have a few people in the live chat. 2 mics. We got Mike Melda and Mike Kornfeld. Korn says Jones has been all right and Garrett sucks. Mike Melda says didn't see the topic. Is it time to talk about Saquon being a bust? Matt, you're all on that. He doesn't think it's Jones' fault, and Garrett couldn't win with Tony Romo in Dallas, so he doesn't know why they hired him to help out Mr. Daniel Jones.
I mean, the coaching staff failure is completely on Joe Judge. I don't know why Joe Judge skates in all of this. He is the one that put together this coaching staff and brought these guys together to coach the Giants. Yes, it might be early to put all the blame on Joe Judge, but I don't really understand why Jason Garrett is the scapegoat here when it's the whole coaching staff, in my opinion. They just look like they're running around like chickens with no heads on offense. I mean, like to say that this is the most boring offense that you've ever seen, and you're coming off a few years of watching Adam Gase coach the Jets is pretty damning.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think anybody's escaping blame. I think the whole coaching staff is to blame, obviously. But if you just look at the way that they run their offense, there's nothing happening. They just do absolutely nothing. So, obviously Joe Judge is probably going to be on the hot seat as well. But, I mean, there's a lot of blame to go around. I just don't think Daniel Jones necessarily is the real problem right now. He's not helping it. He's not helping anything. He's kind of just there being the quarterback. But it seems like just a mess all around.
I actually wrote that down, and Matt, I wrote Daniel Jones isn't the problem, but he's not really proving he's the solution.
No, not at all.
The thing is, how many times do you see? Yeah, Daniel Jones might be a fine quarterback, but how many times do you see a young quarterback get drafted to a crap organization and they don't put enough around him to support him and allow him to develop, and then his career is set back a few years and he never really recovers?
Yeah,
a guy like Sam Darnold is really lucky to have gotten shipped out, and now he's in Carolina, and it's only 3 games into the season and they've played a pretty light schedule so far, but he looks like he's turning things around and might have gotten a second chance. So, we'll see what happens with Daniel Jones.
Yeah. I don't know. They did also start a little slow last year, kind of turned it around a little bit and started surprising people. Their defense started playing a little better. Yeah. So we'll see what happens. It's like kind of an embarrassing look. Not as embarrassing as the Jets. I don't know, but you hear all the stuff about Judge and his disciplinary ways and the way he makes the team run. Even veterans aren't safe from his wrath, and it's just like, where's the results of all this?
Yeah,
it's like one of those Belichick disciples who thinks they're Bill Belichick.
At the end of the day, that would be people would be loving that if the team was just winning. So,
well, it's going to get worse before it gets better. They play the Saints, Cowboys, Rams, Panthers, Chiefs, and Raiders in their next 6 games.
I was just about to say that. Like
they're not winning any of those games.
None of those games. If you're not winning,
Saints defense is going to give them a big problem.
Are you kidding me? Saints, Cowboys, Rams, Panthers, Chiefs, Raiders.
But honestly, I feel like the Giants are one of those teams that will can always sneak out a win. They'll play one good game in one of those weeks and beat a very good team. They're just always that resilient team.
Maybe they can beat the Panthers, but I don't know.
I see this Saints game as one of those games where the defense outscores the opposing offense.
And then they play the Bucks after that.
Oh.
Yeah. Hey, they ran with the Bucks a little bit last year, no? Or was that 2 years ago?
That was last year.
Yeah, but
the defense looks like
still
shit.
Gonna lose. Yeah, so the New York Giants always letting us down. Yeah, they have the worst record in football over the past 5 years, I'm pretty sure. It's not turning around. I just can't believe they stuck with Gettleman for so long. It makes no sense to me.
He's a horrendous GM. Every move he's made has been a failure.
Leonard Williams isn't. It's only 3 games. He's not looking as great as he was last year. They gave him that big deal after the trade.
The whole defense is not showing up. It's the same defense from last year, and none of their guys are playing well at all.
Yeah, I mean, and that's what it comes back to something we were talking about off the air, like Jets and Giants, like brighter future, this and that. And I feel like there's a lot of players on the Giants team and defense and just overall that are older, free agent signings that if they're not panning out now, where's really the room to improve? Instead of compared to the Jets, who are starting like 8 rookies, where that's where the mistakes are coming from the young players. So they got to get it together with all these vets on the team and the drill sergeant Joe Judge start playing disciplined, good football. Not really, because I hate them, so I hope they don't. But
I don't think you have to worry about that with their schedule.
I'm ready to move on to the New York Jets because I'm very excited to hear what some people have to say on this show. So you guys ready to go?
Ready.
Yeah.
All right. So the New York Jets get shut out. Not a single point scored. 26-0 to the Denver Broncos. Just so many things to say. I know they're all going to be said. So, Mr. Egal, I know how eager you are. You've been saying since literally the first quarter on Sunday that you're going to go off on the memo.
Can't wait.
Go off.
I can't fucking wait.
Let's hear it.
What isn't wrong with this goddamn football team? What isn't wrong about it? Okay? This offense looks embarrassing. I'm still a believer in Zach Wilson and whatever, but I'm honestly like I said, I'm not worried about him. I'm worried about the organization stunting his growth. That's a major concern that I have at this very moment. And I'm worried about the future now again. For how many straight years that I'm just worried and I don't have any team. I don't have good football to watch. We were watching the Chargers versus Chiefs game, and I'm like, wow, 1 year after having a rookie quarterback, like the Chargers just put up against the Chiefs, and again, 4 years later, we're still here. I really do blame this on the coaching staff. I know it's a rookie coaching staff and, rookie offensive coordinator and rookie quarterback and rookie this and first year this. I get it, but you got to put an NFL product out on the field. You can't look like an embarrassment joke in the first 3 weeks. You had one good half of football, and that was the first week, second half. Every other half, you scored, 3 points in that entire thing, and it's just really frustrating to watch. You can't.
Yeah, I mean, we all have a right to be, and I think the worst part about it is that every year we're promised different. It's going to be different, especially on offense. It's going to look different. It's going to be innovative. It's going to be new. It's going to look like all the other teams in the league, the Shanahans, the LaFleurs, all these great offenses out there that have all these new concepts, and it's just never happens. And it's still early in the season, so I understand why we're all upset. I also do think at the same time, and Igal, you're a big victim of this, my friend. We are victim of our own set expectations that should not be set as high as they are. I told you on this show, after Zach Wilson looks good in the preseason, chill out. It doesn't matter what he did in the preseason. He's going against second stringers every week. He looked pretty good. It doesn't matter because you're going to be playing not vanilla defenses. You're going to be playing real starters in the NFL. And the second he looks bad in week 1, everyone's going to be like, what the hell happened? The sky is falling. And that's exactly what happened because everyone thought just because of and it's the reporters at the training camp telling us, oh my God, Zach Wilson and Elijah Moore, they can't stop connecting. They're making big plays every day, this and that. And it's just, we got to realize that there are other football teams that are having the same conversation as the same reports about them. And, it's easy to be stuck in your little bubble of like hearing all the reports about your team and all the hype and just forgetting that there's other teams improving, other teams like adding guys and, the gauntlet of a schedule to start the year. Like I said, not to take away from anyone being angry because I'm angry too. And I'm mostly angry at the offensive coordinator. And Igal, I know you were upset about Saleh going out there and defending him. It's just, I don't know if it's lack of faith in the O-line, if it's trying to ease Wilson along. I just don't see I don't see any motion. I don't see any jet sweeps. Like, I don't see any reverses. I don't see any like quick passing game to get the rhythm going. I don't see the things that are supposed to be a staple of this offense, and I just feel like they're just dropping him back all the time. These long developing plays, waiting for someone to get open down the field. And I think the receivers are still solid. I know people want to shit on them, but I think they're still a solid group. They can get open, but they don't have time. You gotta get somebody open right away. You can't be waiting for these routes downfield for Wilson to just get sacked. It's just not the way it's gonna go. And obviously Becton out, the run game's gonna suffer. It's a whole avalanche of things. And it sucks, but the schedule eases up a little bit. We played 3 really good defense, some really good pass rushers, some good coaches, especially defensive coaches. You got Bill Belichick and Vic Fangio. Fangio,
listen,
however you say it.
These defenses that we played are ranked 1, 2, and 5 in the league. So like they're good. These are top 5 defenses that we're going up against. I get it all. It's just it just really looks bad, and it's not fun to watch. I had my hands in my head in my hands for the entire game.
It's just embarrassing. Like it's just, and then we're trying to show our friend football. Obviously, Vinny. Anyone who doesn't know him. And then he's just like, are the Jets going to do something? And it's just like, yeah, maybe they'll do something.
No,
and they're
won't.
just embarrassing. They just won't. We're trying to get this kid into the sport, and this is the team we like. And this isn't convincing anyone. And look, in the chat, Mr. Melda agrees with us. Where's Mims? Why is Greg Van Roten on the team and calling out the quarterback? Why is it so hard to call plays? He's saying the same thing I'm saying. There's not even like a flea flicker, something different to like give us a spark, give us something. And Kornfeld said the mustache is fantastic. So screw all of you. I'm keeping it forever.
I agree. Last thing I need to say, I agree with Melda. Greg Van Roten, get his ass off the team right now. Don't go out calling my quarterback when you have the lowest blocker rating in probably league fucking history, okay? Don't go calling out my quarterback. How about you protect him for more than 1.7 seconds? Thank you. Go on,
also
Matt.
said something that I've been thinking
I was going to say that.
For so long. Why does this team love Braxton Berrios? Why do they love him so much? I don't understand. He can be the punt returner. Cool. Throw him in for a few plays. He gets like 10 targets a game.
And it's 2 different coaching staffs now, too.
Yeah, I don't understand at all. Like, they just does he have blackmail on the coaches? Does he sneak into their houses at night and be like, I saw what you did? Like, I don't know. I don't get it. And especially, we don't have to get into Mims again because God forbid we talk about that. I would go off another hour, but how can this guy be on the field and he can't? I don't get it. I don't get it. Alex or Matt?
There's a lot. I mean, you guys you got it covered pretty well. The one thing that Igal said that I feel like we can, actually talk about that's the most concerning part is it's not necessarily about Zach Wilson not looking great because obviously he's in the situation that he's in and it's like virtually impossible. But the effect that this could have on him, like as like you mentioned, Igal, him growing and like being an NFL quarterback, like if you do this kind of damage to any rookie quarterback this early on in their career, and it's almost impossible to climb out of. Obviously, 3 games is early enough that things can start turning around. And if you're going to be a very good quarterback, you'll be able to make things happen. But I mean, you can't ask for a worse situation to be in. You can't ask for a worse start for a rookie quarterback. And I know we're going to talk about every rookie quarterback in the league playing like dog shit this year, which, maybe makes you guys feel a little bit better. But it's just concerning that like another quarterback is in the same situation Sam Darnold was in. And like you said, Richard, we're told and we were all like expecting things to be different. And it's like the same exact thing that we've been seeing with Sam Darnold.
Yeah. And like he's just him going to Carolina and now looking better. It's just another stab to the heart.
I mean, I don't know what you can do. I don't know what the solution is.
You just gotta trust because the and I'm gonna let you go. I'm gonna be quick, Alex, because I know you probably want to talk, but it's so hard to keep trusting the process because we've been told to. But it is new people involved, so you have to give them the same opportunity that any other new regime and staff gets. And it's tough because you just want it to happen already, and it just doesn't. But Alex, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really have much to add to that. It's just, I feel like I'm having deja vu. with numerous past situations that we've gone through as Jet fans, and it's so tiring to talk about again and again, and it's so hard to get invested in the team because even when you get a glimmer of hope here and there, you just know that at some point things are going to unravel, and it's very, very frustrating being 3 games into the season and being in the same exact place, if not farther back than you were last year and the year before that and the year before that and the year before that. And it's just like, how can we keep doing this? how can I keep caring? I can't.
I'm gonna start campaigning for bring Adam Gase back.
Yeah. That's the thing. It looks exactly.
The Jets would do that.
It looks exactly like it was with Gase. That's the whole annoying thing. Like
nothing looks different.
Same exact thing. We could not score in the first half, and we never made any adjustments. I don't know.
So I just think
20 points in 3 games is damning.
I think this just falls on Joe Douglas, and it's about time that he takes some, responsibility for all of this, because since you walked into this building, you've made it a point that you needed to make the offensive line, this great. How many years already has it been? And you still have, I get it, Mekhi Becton, but everything else doesn't really look great. Like Connor McGovern looks like trash. Van Roten, trash. Like, I don't know. I don't even know if Moses is in there at this point.
Yeah, sure. I was going to actually ask, what do you how are you feeling about Douglas at this point? You just said, and Saleh too. I feel like people are jumping on him already. I wouldn't at this point, but I don't know.
I'll jump on Saleh. I honestly, before Egal said it, I've never heard of the term rookie head coach before. If you're the head coach of an NFL team, I don't give a fuck if it's your first season. You were hired to do a good job. You've been a coach in this league for years. Figure it out. I know it's only 3 games, so I'll give him half the season, but this guy does not get as much leeway as 2-3 seasons of rookie quarterbacks or rookie players. He's a coach. He's been in the NFL for years.
Yeah.
I agree with that. There's a lot of rookie coaches that do have success right away as well.
Yeah,
Brandon
sometimes
Staley,
well, he has a much more talented team with Herbert and Matt LaFleur against Aaron Rodgers. I think that's a little bit different. I don't know. I don't know if we can compare the New York Jets roster to Keenan Allen, Mike Williams, Justin Herbert, Devontae Adams, and Aaron
totally
Rodgers.
Right.
But there's more. I mean, there's other rookie head coaches that do score more than 20 points in 3 games.
No, you're right. Melda says, bring back Gase, then fire him to make me feel better. I agree. I agree. That's a good one. Corn says, you got to run plays where you get the ball out fast, have guys in motion, get the QB rolling out, easy completions, facepalm. I agree. That's what we were just saying before. Where is all the easy stuff for the young guy? I don't know.
It's just
Jets are probably going to send you a job spec now, Cornfeld, just for writing that.
They really should.
Whoa, that's a great idea.
They're just sitting in their office. You know that? What's it's from the music video with, is it Future and Drake? And they're looking at the computer and they're like,
yeah, Drake and Lil Yachty.
Yeah, that's what it is. That one's funny. But yeah, the Jets stink. Hopefully, and then now they play the Tennessee Titans, who Derrick Henry is going to have 250 yards. Let's be real. I mean,
yes, he will. Oh, let's see. Let's test it, Egal. Who are you going to root for Derrick Henry this week, Big Shot?
Well, 0-3. My team looks like gob. So, second week, though. Our first week it was. I was like, all right, give your team a chance.
You gave it a half of the season.
I gave it 2 games.
One half of the football.
I gave it 2 games.
All right, let's move on.
Yeah, let's talk about some good football.
All right. Well, we did want to get into the overall struggling of rookie quarterbacks.
Let's talk about some more shitty football.
We can be quick with this one, just to move from this subject with Wilson struggling. The rookie QBs all around the league seem to be struggling. Trevor Lawrence, the next coming of Jesus himself. Mac Jones, the Patriots savior, and Justin Fields, who everyone thought should be in the game over Andy Dalton, generates under 50 yards of offense for the Chicago Bears. So,
well, one thing that you have to keep in mind, and it seems like every rookie quarterback's in the same position. their offensive lines are all horrendous. Like Justin Fields got sacked 9 times in his first game. Like Myles Garrett and Jadeveon Clowney ate him alive. They literally just ate him alive. Mac Jones, I mean, this doesn't get said a lot because the Pats, you just expect that they have a good offensive line. Their offensive line has been very bad as well this year. They brought in Trent Brown from the Raiders. I don't know how he's been doing, but you would have expected them to be a little bit better. They're getting bullied up front as well. And obviously Jacksonville, I think that their offensive line is just permanently terrible, and everything else about the team is awful. But, I mean, you're basically just throwing all of these kids in front of impossible situations where I don't know what the answer is, because they do have to play. And, I've always been a believer of getting the experience on the field. But it comes into a point where you're just hurting them, and they can't even do anything if they try. So I don't know how you're supposed to go about that, but none of these guys look good right now.
Yeah, that Justin Fields, that sucked, man.
I didn't have a chance.
Did not have a shot. Trevor, I mean,
they have 40 yards of offense or something on the day.
47 or something like that.
They had 47. He passed for 69 yards or 68 yards and got sacked for 67 yards. So he basically had 1 yard of passing offense. I mean, it's crazy that you don't even know who's in the worst situation of these guys. Obviously, Mac Jones, but like Lawrence, Wilson, and Fields, could it get any worse than those three? It's like
they're helpless.
Yeah, absolutely helpless. And then Trey Lance sitting on the bench.
One thing I will say though was I was one of the guys calling for Andy Dalton to not be the starter and for Justin Fields to get in there. I mean, I guess Nagy, and I don't want to give Matt Nagy any credit because he doesn't deserve any credit, but if your rookie quarterback is not ready, or if he's going to be in a situation where he's going to fucking die on the field, I guess you are just better off rolling with a veteran every now and then. And it seemed like obviously Fields got pushed into the starting role because Andy Dalton got hurt. So he wouldn't have been in that game probably if, Matt Nagy had his way and if Dalton was healthy. But I mean, it definitely err on the side of caution now that maybe Fields should not have started from week 1 because he probably would have one leg by now. And Dalton got hurt too, so obviously the offensive line sucks.
Supposedly Nagy is looking at all options, right? They're considering Foles. Yeah, they should just put a rag doll back there as long as they can hold the ball.
Yeah.
Big news here. Biggest fan, biggest supporter, Spence Ing is in the YouTube live chat.
Spence, how we doing?
Thank you for tuning in. We always appreciate it.
Welcome.
Yeah, and I'm on live on Instagram. Anyone, if you're watching on there, it's just going to be me sitting here unless you hear me talking. So go to the YouTube and go tune in there because it's much.
So are we at 3 viewers? Because Matt made a
7.
promise.
We're at 6 or 7. Yeah.
No, it was a 3. It was a 3 to 6 limit. we broke it.
He said, "How's the fantasy team doing?" That's a whole conversation. Matt does not want to get into that one. He said, "How we doing? We're all doing good."
I'm 0-3 in 4 different leagues. Okay, that's how and we're gonna move on after that.
All right, next conversation.
Yeah. So, we're still on the rookie QBs. Anyone else have?
Last thing I want to say: does this make you feel better as a Jet fan? And for whoever's watching that is a Jet fan, does it make you feel better that these other rookie quarterbacks are struggling?
No.
I would say no. It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. I'm on that boat too. It really doesn't matter because it's your team, and it doesn't matter because you care about your team. Yeah.
And then we're gonna end up playing one of them, and it's gonna be the worst game of all time.
Well, that's how Mac Jones is the only rookie quarterback with a win because they beat the Jets.
Yeah.
That game sucked.
Yeah. Everyone in the chat is saying no. It doesn't make them feel better. No, Jets just suck.
Is there a fucking just scarcity of good players that?
Well,
I think offensive
linemen are they just extinct?
It's the hardest position, I guess. It's just a hard position to find and coach, and there's all these scheme fits, and then all these bottom of the barrel teams are changing coaches every year, and you draft one guy for this scheme.
It really wasn't that hard in high school.
Yeah, if you look
just get in people's way.
Blocking Chubby from Great Neck South is a little easier than Aaron Donald.
It's really embarrassing when you see an offensive lineman 350 pounds just get wrecked and the quarterback just dies.
Well, I've
and it's
always
just
said
standing
that.
around like,
I mean, you have like the
like,
fattest.
what are you doing? Fucking block.
It's like but like if you think about it, how difficult that must be. They're the offensive line is obviously the most unathletic players on the team. Going up against Myles Garrett, Aaron Donald, Joey Bosa, Chandler Jones, like they're gonna get fucking put in a spin cycle. It's so difficult.
They shouldn't be the most unathletic players
They're
on the
fat.
team. Yeah, but they're supposed to be quick.
A lot of tackles in the league now are getting more and more athletic. But
of course, and so are the defensive ends. It's just a natural mismatch, and they're just coming at you at full speed, and you're backpedaling. It's like, what the fuck do you want? What do you want?
And then you grab their shoulder pad for like a second and holding.
Yeah, it seems very difficult, but there is a lack of talent there, and it seems all the rookie quarterbacks have the worst offensive lines, and it's impossible.
Yeah, I mean, I agree that it doesn't make me feel better because that it's just all the most pathetic franchises in the league. So I'm not like, oh, thank God they're just as pathetic as us. I'm like, oh, we're just like them. So it's worse.
The Jaguars suck too. Let's go.
Vinny is in the Instagram thing, and he wants to know if Matt's getting naked soon because you did say
you missed it. Yeah. Vinny, you missed it already.
You missed it.
It was electric.
He did it. It was real quick. It was
I'll DM
shocking.
you the videos later.
Yeah.
It was smaller than I expected.
Watch us live on YouTube if you're in the Instagram chat. All right, let's move on to some good football. No more misery. Let's talk about the
Washington football team.
The Los Angeles Rams defeat the Tampa Bay Buccaneers 34-24. And my question that I wrote in the little caption is, are the Rams the new NFC favorites after this performance? What do you guys think?
I'll start that off since, admittedly, for the live audience, if you didn't tune in, did Matt freeze?
Yeah.
I'm here.
He's here, but you're frozen on whatever. You're fine. Keep going.
Oh, there we go. Okay. Yeah. So my bold prediction to start the season was that the Rams were going to miss the playoffs, and that is looking very wrong. They look amazing. They look like the best team in the NFC. So, yeah, I mean, to be the man, you got to beat the man. The Rams did that this last week. They beat the Buccaneers. The Buccaneers, the reigning Super Bowl champions, returning all 22 starters. So, I would say yes. I would say that they're the favorite in the NFC.
What do you think about Stafford for MVP? You think that's a high possibility right now, early in the season?
Maybe. I mean, obviously he's playing very well. The team around him is very good.
Yeah.
The entire team's great. So I don't know. I don't know what the NFL's history is with. What were you gonna say, Matt?
Stafford. I'm sorry to cut you off. Stafford is currently the favorite to win MVP.
Wow.
Okay. So yeah, it makes sense. I don't know if that makes all that much sense. I mean, they were a playoff team last year, and they just went from Goff to Stafford.
Well, it's a statistical award. I mean, if he's gonna
put
up
if he's
5,000 yards and 50 touchdowns.
Right. I personally would give it to Jameis Winston.
Don't get me started.
No, we can't get back into Jameis.
No, can't. He's done.
No, but that makes sense. I don't know if he is the most valuable player in the NFL right now, but sure, he's playing amazing for a really good team.
Did anyone else completely forget they had Deshaun Jackson and then they just launched it to him 3 times?
He's getting faster as he's getting older.
Oh my God, he just does not. He's always wide open downfield. It's unbelievable. The guy just.
I don't know. I mean, it seems like the Bucs might have a secondary problem. They actually have Richard Sherman visiting them today, which would just be, I mean, stupid and not fair at all. But it just seems like they were able, like Dallas carved them up. They actually, I think that the Falcons actually put up some points against them as well. And then, we saw what happened with Stafford. That Rams offense is going to put up points on everybody. Mm-hmm. So I don't know how much of a concern it is. The Cowboys offense as well, as we saw against the Eagles last night. But if you want to nitpick and point out one issue with the Buccaneers right now, it would have to be their secondary. But I wouldn't look too much into this. It's 2 of the best teams in the NFL. Someone was going to lose the game. Week 3, Tom Brady does take a little bit to get going sometimes, even though he was off to one of the best starts of his career. So I just think, it was a game that someone was going to lose, and that these teams will probably see each other again. And I would hope so. But the Rams, like Alex said, they do look like the best team in the NFL right now.
Yeah, I agree. I just think they have the best all-around team. And they have at two of the most important positions. You got an elite pass rusher, you have an elite cornerback, and then the third and the most important position, you got a quarterback who, came here because Jared Goff set the stage for someone like him.
What a guy Jared is,
Jared he's setting the stage in all these teams for other guys.
If they win the Super Bowl, do they send him a ring?
I think they have to with what McVay's going to say.
McVay's going to send him a postcard from Cancun, wherever they were.
Stafford and McVay shirtless.
Stafford on beach chairs.
What happened?
What is that?
He unplugged the camera again, and it wasn't even Stella this time.
I locked Stella in my closet today.
Kornfeld said he's pissed he doesn't have Cup this year. I think a lot of people are pretty upset about that.
Kornfeld, I hope this makes you feel better. I passed on Cooper Cup with Corey Davis.
I passed on him. I drafted his teammate Robert Woods, so
Jet fans are the worst.
In front of Cooper Kupp, he was higher on the ADP. He's good every year. I mean, they're usually pretty.
Oh, you drafted off ADP now?
No, but he's good every year. He was good with Jared Goff. They're usually right around each other.
Stafford and Kupp have some
Stafford
crazy
was just
connection
he just
right
came
now.
in. He was like, guys, I'm here. We're gonna turn this around. Woods, I'm never throwing you the ball. Don't even think about it.
Don't even look at me.
Absolute just hates him. But yeah. I definitely think we're going to see these two teams play again. I hope it's a better game. Cornfield said, "Are you kidding me, Yigal?" No, he's not. Well, you were. That was when you weren't there, Yigal, or you were there?
I wasn't there. I had to leave for Rosh Hashanah dinner.
Yeah,
My dad was, "I'll sue you if you don't come," and I was like, "All right, I got it."
Then you tried to blame it on not being there. You were like, "Oh, I didn't know." Yeah. You were picking Corey Davis in the first round if you could.
You had Davis the whole way.
Yeah,
I did.
No way.
I wanted a Jet.
Yeah, we all
big mistake. Big mistake.
You want to win?
He's not going to get the ball. I mean, hey, I'm tied for first, kid.
Shay. All right. With like 4 other teams, everybody's 2-1. Yeah. But yeah, good for the Rams. We're going to talk a little bit more about the Rams when we get to our picks.
Yeah.
So we can move on there. Next you had the Sunday night game. What a game! And Rich, I think you said this. All the primetime games so far. Except last night.
Yeah, last night was.
All the primetime games have been fantastic. Mason Crosby with a 51-yard field goal to win it for the Packers, and it seems like all is right in Green Bay all of a sudden, huh?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, you could have saw this coming from a mile away.
Don't get me.
What?
Come on, let's not pretend like I didn't say that this was going to happen.
Of course, but everybody was overreacting to week 1. Maybe not. You were overreacting to week 1, but I guess you did say that it was going to turn around. This was a good win, though. I mean, jokes aside, like they've struggled to beat the 49ers in the past. They usually just get absolutely carved up on the ground. I know Mostert's hurt, but it just looked like the Packers were moving the ball at will. And obviously in that last 37 seconds of the game, they hit 2 big plays to Devontae Adams, and that was all she wrote.
Yeah,
prevent defense. Somebody's got to come in and change that one.
They were getting points. They were getting points in the game too.
The Packers? Yeah,
because I picked them with the double down, which would have
down.
won even if they lost after that last.
I think we have to readjust that. I mean, you could probably only double down when you're the favorite. Otherwise, like if you're getting the points and picking them to win,
I was thinking that.
Why?
Seems a little weird.
It's like putting all your eggs in one basket. It's a risk. Because it's literally double jeopardy.
Yeah.
It just feels weird when they're the underdog.
Well, not when you get 2 wins.
I guess it's still the same because if the Packers had because then there's no way like if your team wins, if the Packers won, then they were gonna get the points. They were gonna cover also. I don't know, whatever. Off camera discussion. But they look good. Aaron Rodgers was slinging that thing all over the yard.
Yeah, they look good. I'm such a Packers hater, and I really I'm not a fan of Aaron Rodgers. they
Really?
were up by they were they were up by 2 touchdowns, and on this one drive with 7 minutes left in the fourth quarter, I don't know what these fucking plays were, but they go 4 verticals on 3 straight plays. They waste 15 seconds off the game clock and punt it, and then the 49ers come right down and score and take the lead. No, so they must not have been down 2 touchdowns, but they had a lead, and they should have milked the clock.
They were going for the jugular. I mean, they would have.
I do remember those plays.
Nitpicking a little bit.
I'm definitely nitpicking, but these are the kinds of things that they'll lose you the game because Mason Crosby's field goal sails left and you lose, and then Aaron Rodgers' season is over. So, you want to just play it safe there.
Aaron Rodgers' season is over.
I'm saying if something like that happens in the
playoff game, okay. I don't know. I feel like if you're up 1 score in the fourth quarter and you have Aaron Rodgers, like you can take some shots down the field and try to win the game. Sometimes it's not going to work. Sometimes it is going to work.
Yeah. I just didn't understand the play calls. They weren't just passes 10 yards down the field. They were deep. They were airing it out. Like why? And on one of them, Devontae Adams was pretty open, and Aaron Rodgers airmailed it because he was like, "I need to win with 30 seconds left, so let me just make sure that happens."
Okay. Yeah. Devontae Adams also almost died on the field. Did you guys see that hit that he took?
Holy that was insane.
Shit. Yeah.
He two plays later came right back. I was like, he's dead.
that back shoulder thing they do is so smooth. It's not even like he has to jump. It's just he's running Devontae Adams and he just has to turn a little bit.
It's like unguardable because if you lean one way, he'll go back shoulder. If he goes the other way, he'll just lead him perfectly. Like it must be such hell for a defensive back to have to cover Devontae Adams. And then I don't know, nobody covered him on the last drive. He was had 5-yard circle around him in every angle, and he was a 40-yard completion?
It just always happens. Oh, there's just someone wide open in those situations all the time. Yep. Especially with these like great quarterbacks, it just always seems like Patrick Mahomes or Aaron Rodgers or Brady. They always have a guy wide open for them in these like minute left situations to come down and win the game. But I mean, it was a great game. Jimmy Garoppolo. I don't know how do you guys feel about him? I feel like he gets a little too much shit. I mean, he's inconsistent.
He gets too much hate from Kornfeld.
He gets the job
done. I thought he
done.
Played well.
Thought he looked good.
He executed a perfect game-winning drive. What might have been a game-winning drive if they didn't blow it at the end there. But yeah, he looked poised on that drive. He was making good throws. He was dialed in. He was controlling the offense. Interestingly, he was going back to the huddle, even though they were kind of in hurry up. I guess that's his thing, but he looked like he was in a good rhythm there. I was impressed.
It's like it seems he had a very bad first half, and then he did turn it around.
They were playing the Packers. Their defense is pretty bad.
Yeah, their defense is not very good. It seems like it's like all or nothing with him. He'll either look really good and execute a drive like that, or he'll fumble the ball out of his hand when no one even touches him. That was a weird play. That kind of like really cost them a lot. But I don't know. I don't think he's that bad. I think he's just your average game manager. And with the Niners team that they have around him, they're going to win games and be competitive.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they'll probably, I guess, whenever they feel like moving on from Garoppolo, they got Lance the tuck.
Kornfeld said it's too easy for teams to drive down the field at the end. It's getting boring. I don't know how they can make it more difficult, though. Like, you think it's because of the rules and the defense, or do you think people are just too good?
I feel
like prevent defense works for 95% of quarterbacks, but when you're playing an Aaron Rodgers, you're playing a Patrick Mahomes, they're just gonna like laser in a pass that's perfect with 10 seconds left, and then hurry everyone to the line and spike the ball and game over.
It's just like always expected from those big guys,
Mm-hmm.
Like, why are you playing it differently than you're playing it the whole game?
They just don't want to let up the big play, but they just let up 3 of them in a row, so it doesn't matter.
Because
no
it seems
sense.
very
Yeah.
counterproductive. Just
I guess they're
play
thinking,
normal
like,
defense.
You don't want to play man, and then they get that one guy breaks free downfield, and then it's like, oh my God, why is nobody back there? Why weren't they playing prevent defense? Then when you play prevent defense, they slice and dice you.
That's what safeties are for.
Yeah.
Yeah, just put safeties back there. I don't know. It's weird, but it seems like it just always is what happens at the end of games. These teams give up big chunks of yardage at the end. And especially, I mean, listen, if you want to do prevent defense when like the other team needs a touchdown, maybe that's a better idea to keep them out of the end zone. But you can't give 30 yards when they only need a field goal range.
Especially when it's Aaron Rodgers and Mason Crosby is the kicker.
Yeah, I
you
mean,
know
they've been doing it for years.
Yeah, you know that he can hit it from range. So there's, I don't know. And it's just, everyone does it. Everyone does it, and it just seems like
it's an offensive league now, you know?
Yeah.
Well, of course. I mean, you can only do so much to stop Aaron Rodgers.
It's an offensive league unless you're the Jets and Giants.
And what Mike Melda said, it's also the refs. They suck.
Yo,
they
that
just
play,
call
not in the Packers game, but the Cowboys game, the Dak touchdown, what the hell was that?
That was the worst
bad.
call of all time. He
Like
just had the ball
I
in
think they
the
blew
end
the
zone.
whistle too early, which is also stupid. They stopped the play too soon. But now the Packers go to play the Steelers next week, so they'll probably destroy them too.
Mm-hmm. Ben Roethlisberger looks awful. We should have grouped him with the struggling rookies because he looks like one.
Yeah, yes, he does. All right.
Except he's like 300 pounds.
Are we ready to go to our picks?
Yes, I think so.
Raiders-Finns game was brutal, Mike Melda says, with the refs. Yeah, I remember there being some questionable calls, but we were watching it on Red Zone, so I didn't see like the in-between stuff.
Who the hell would watch Raiders-Dolphins?
It was a good game.
Mike Melda.
It's a good game.
It was a good game. Went to overtime.
Yeah, comeback.
It's becoming pretty apparent that I have an issue with the Raiders.
Raiders, what other teams?
That link you, Rich.
And you have
Who
problems.
wants to talk about the
I can
Raiders?
send that one out.
Yeah, you can. That Zoom link?
Yeah, that's
you can send that out.
All right, so we're going to call in our first caller to the show who's actually going to be on air to give the fan picks. As you guys might know by now, we are doing our weekly pick segment with a different fan each week. We'll be picking 2 games of the week and then 2 personal spread games that we like. So I'm going to call in our first guest of the Memo for the new season, my good pal Kirby Toomey, and he will be giving us his picks for the upcoming weekend. And to go over the standings while we're waiting for him to get in, we all actually had a pretty good week, except Igal. Our fan, Russ Bratzi, went 3-1. Me and Richard went an impressive 4-0, if I do say so myself. Alex at 3-1 as well, and then Igal with a tough 1-3. Speaking of that Vegas Dolphins game, you lost by a half point.
Half point.
Rough.
And and then I had San Francisco too.
Yeah, you did take the Niners. So our current standings are Richard has taken the lead at 7-4. Me and Igal are tied for second at 6-6, and then Alex and the fan base coming up in last at 5-7.
It's a close race.
Only up from here.
Only go up. I'm in first. Wow. And I'm going to stay there. I will not lose a single game the rest of the year.
Wow, interesting.
Jets money line is a lock, Mr. Melda says. Interesting.
After all of that, Melda, you're going to give me that money line is a lock.
Whatever you're smoking, let me get some of it.
What's it called? So what's the first game we're going to talk about before Boy comes on?
We'll do Rams-Cardinals.
Rams-Cardinals.
Big game. Probably the game of the week.
The
number 1 game of the week.
Anyone listening, we're doing Rams-Cardinals, and then we're doing Panthers-Cowboys, and then we're going to do our spread picks. So if you want to stick around to hear our thoughts on that, hear our spread picks if you're a betting man or woman.
We'll let him just give all of his picks, and then
we're going to have him go first. That is true. That's not true. They always beat someone they shouldn't, the Jets. Maybe in other years they've done that. Most
teams do.
They beat the Rams last year.
I know, but it took 13 weeks before that happened. There was probably plenty of teams they shouldn't have beat that they lost to.
Yeah.
I mean, I could see the Titans being one of those teams that fucks it up though. They seem like that.
You talk yourself into this.
I don't think they're gonna win. If there's a team that would botch it, it would be the Titans. I'm not picking the Jets in anything. I mean, Egal had the Jets plus 17, and they still didn't get it.
I can't believe that.
What's the line on the Jets Titans?
Let's find
Mine
out.
is 7.5.
7.5.
What?
They know something, Egal. They know something.
That's what I'm saying.
He's the Titans.
No, you know what
It's
I'm
'cause their
doing?
defense
I'm betting
isn't-
2 touchdowns, Zach Wilson,
It's because their
256
defense
passing yards.
probably isn't that good, right?
Their defense is bad, but
Yeah, so the Jets will score 3 points instead of 0. If the over of that game isn't 100 points, then I'm all over on that game. You're all over on the under, you're saying? Mike Melda? If the over of that game isn't 100, then you're on... Oh, you're saying you're on the over unless it's too high. I get it now.
But for Jets Titans,
Yeah.
Not touch the over-under on that
well, the
game.
Titans are going to break it on their own. It's 46.
I mean, Derrick Henry's going to run all over them, so...
All right, where's Kirby?
I don't know what's going on here.
Should we just start? I don't want. We're just sitting
Yeah,
here.
We'll start.
We got some.
Start us
waiting.
off. Start us off with Rams.
All right, let me change.
Keep an eye
the,
on the chat though, in case he
Yeah.
pops up.
Let me change the headline here. Oh my God.
Oh, Melda's saying the Cards and the Rams the over. Yes, I would take that all day.
That's
Oh,
going to be
Connor.
high.
First game is who's home for that game?
It's in LA.
Uh,
55 is the line.
Cardinals.
It was 54 and a half
Up,
last
Kirby's in the waiting room.
Kirby, get him in here.
Let's move to the guest. Oh my God, it got all messed up.
Well, there it is.
There he is.
Kirby, how we doing?
Yo,
Hey,
on.
get out of the dungeon. Get
I
out
mean,
of the dungeon there.
I'm in,
man.
I'm in the den right now, watching some playoff baseball. Well, soon to be playoff baseball, playoff contending team.
Well,
I know
welcome.
you guys' West Coast, East Coast teams are trash, but the West Coast teams are lighting it up.
Hey, you watch yourself there. You see what we did tonight?
There we go. Now we can
All
see
right.
him.
Well, Kirby, welcome to the Memo. You were our first guest of this NFL season. How does it feel to be on with us?
Stoked to the max.
I can tell. All right. Well,
Want to say before we start, I have this like makeshift border that I switched to so we can all be seen. There's no lines, there's no nothing. It looks pretty shitty now that I'm looking at it. So next time it'll look way better. Anyone
All
who's
right.
watching, I'm sorry.
all right, Kirby. So we're gonna have you give your 4 picks for us in the first, and then we'll
Okay.
probably end up kicking you off the show. But we're happy to have you here. So let us start with the Rams, the Cardinals, at the LA Rams. What are you thinking for that one?
I mean, 2 NFC West teams. Me being a Niner fan here, I'm going to be pretty biased, but the Rams look scary. I think Arizona is going to kind of get exposed. Seeing Stafford with Cooper Kupp, them two just look filthy. The defense is obviously top notch. I think the Rams are going to win by a touchdown.
Very good. Yeah, we just had a nice conversation about your Niners in that Packers game there. Not
They
the best
deserve-
night for you, huh?
They deserve to lose that game, but it's fine. So did Tom Brady and the Bucks. So if the champs can win and bounce back, so can we.
Ooh, interesting. Well, champions usually do that. Niners maybe not so much, but we'll see. All right, moving along here. Next, we have the Carolina Panthers going to Dallas to play the Cowboys, who had obviously an impressive performance last night. What do you got for that one?
Maybe a little recency bias, but the Cowboys look good, and I've never been a Sam Darnold fan. I'll always be streaming the defenses that's playing against Sam Darnold because I think he's just a very subpar quarterback. So I think the Cowboys will roll in this one as well.
You don't like that. You're a Sam Darnold guy.
Listen, I hope that he has a good career, but I agree with him. I don't think I think he's a subpar quarterback. Nothing too great.
Yeah, you would say that.
No love for Sammy D on the show.
I have love for him. I hope he does well. I just don't think he's that great. Let me get into my picks and I'll talk. All right.
All right, Kirby. Now we need 2 picks for you of your spreads of the week. I know you said you had 2 locks for us.
Yeah. Well, so I got these yesterday when the lines opened. The very first one, actually, Baltimore plus 1.5 against the Denver Broncos. Baltimore hasn't looked too hot, although I think they're going to start to figure it out here with their offense. They haven't really like been clicking yet. I know they played that barn burner Monday night game against the Raiders, but I don't know. I just feel like they haven't shown us the best that they have, and their defense has just not been hot yet. So 1.5, I think that one's going to be a lock over the Denver Broncos, who have played the 3 worst teams in football, arguably. So another fraud alert, I think, is on my radar for that game.
What was that? Who was beating Denver 1.5?
Ravens.
The Ravens actually get a point.
Oh, they did.
This was as of yesterday when the spreads opened.
Yeah,
it was
Ravens now.
Today's +1, so it's still like pretty much the same line.
Yeah, so yeah, I got a +1.5. I don't know. I sprinkled a little on the money line there. I just think that one's too good to be true.
It's crazy to me. The Denver Broncos.
Throwing a K.
And the other one is, again, yesterday. I'm sure this one changed a lot, but Kansas City opened at -6. I saw in the major books they were -5 at open. Mine was at -6. Now I think it's at 6.5. I think that one, Kansas City is going to come out blazing. I think, again, they have underperformed pretty vastly. But mostly I think that if the spread is 6.5, I would do it. If it gets to 7, that's where it kind of gets tricky. So depending on what your book is, I say lock in Baltimore, but I think
we'll give you the lines that you took that you had on
okay, minus 6.5 for Kansas City. I think that's going to be a good get right game.
Who are they playing?
For Patty Mahomes.
Who are they playing?
The Eagles.
Philadelphia.
Philly, yeah.
I like that one.
Philly just got exposed on national TV. That was it was really tough to watch. So
yeah, the Chiefs got exposed too, though. Don't you forget about that. Don't you forget about that.
Justin Herbert looks like the truth, man. Those guys are Mike Williams. All of a sudden, not all of a sudden.
Stop! Now you're just buttering me up. Now, come on, I'm getting all excited. All right, so there you have it. We got Kirby coming with the Rams, Cowboys, Ravens +1.5, and Chiefs -6.5. Got to tell you what, Kirby, I like those numbers a lot.
I do as well.
Like that a lot.
Telling you, Ravens, sprinkle a little on the money line. You won't be too mad.
All right, I think I'm going to have to follow you there. Well, thank you very much for coming on. You are, like I said, our first guest.
Yep.
I hope you had a
Thank
good
you,
time.
man.
And I
First
shout
live
out to
guest.
you rocking the single platform T-shirt right now. I mean, Jesus Christ.
Laundry day. Peace out.
See you later,
man. Thanks again.
All right.
Oh,
There
my
we
God.
have it. What happened?
Rich
with
has to
what
fix
happened
on
with
the
screen?
Rich has
I'm
to
good.
fix
You
the
can go.
YouTube.
You can go.
Oh, it looks
nice.
funny on the live.
That was a nice transition back. I like that.
You like it? I got to make a
Fade.
border for that.
Yeah.
What's wrong with my
For the
camera
5
right now?
person.
All right.
Yeah.
So he gave his picks.
Okay,
Who wants to
good.
start with Cardinals Rams?
I'll start it off.
Oh yeah, Alex, go first.
I'm gonna agree with Kirby on this one. The Rams look scary, as I said earlier in the show. They look like the team to beat in the NFC. The Rams defense is stout. The Cardinals defense also pretty good, but looking pretty vulnerable through the air through 3 games. Each of the quarterbacks that they've played against have gone over 200 yards. And those quarterbacks are Trevor Lawrence, Kirk Cousins, and Ryan Tannehill. So not bad quarterbacks. One of them's a rookie. The other 2 are veterans, but certainly not the best quarterbacks in the NFL. I think Stafford, Kupp, Woods, Higbee, they're going to have their way, and they're going to win this game.
Okay. Yeah, I think the Rams are going to be one of those teams that goes undefeated pretty late into the year, and we're going to be like, oh my God, when are they going to lose? And they will lose a game, but I could see them, getting to the 7-0, 8-0 mark, one of those. So I'm going to pick them against the Cardinals. I think they're the better coach team, better overall team. Stafford's hot right now. And I think it's going to be a really fun game, though. I think these are 2 really exciting offenses. You got some nice defensive players on both sides of the ball, 2 of the best pass rushers in the league on each team. You got Chandler Jones and Aaron Donald. It should be really fun, so I'm excited to watch. Picking the Rams over the Cardinals.
I am also picking the Rams over the Cardinals, even though I'm a big Kyler Murray fan.
Every
Huge.
week, you guys got to bring it up.
I have to bring it up because I've been calling this since last year. He's MVP.
He's
of the
also
league.
second favorite MVP. Him and Stafford are neck and neck right now.
Nice.
Yeah, but yeah, like everyone's saying, they're just like the scariest team in the NFC. I believe in the league. They're the best team. They're the team to beat in the league. So give me the Rams.
Nice, Matthew.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna have to also go with the Rams.
All right. Nice.
That high scoring affair. I mean, I might have to go with the over as well. 55 is a big number, but I do expect both teams to kind of trade back and forth. But when it comes down to it, I think Kyler Murray is still prone to making a bad play or two. He does have a couple turnovers on the season. Still has to iron out that part of his game. And shout out to Cliff Kingsbury for deciding to kick a 68-yard field goal at halftime on Sunday and giving up a 109-yard field goal return touchdown. That's just a stupid
tied for the
move.
record, correct?
Yeah, definitely. I think there's like 3 other guys that have done that, but I mean, why would you ever kick that field goal? So, Rich, I know that you're on the Cliff Kingsbury sucks train. That's definitely a notch in your belt there.
Yep.
So I just think coaching is going to be a difference maker because Sean McVay is a great coach. And another interesting stat popped up when the Rams went into the halftime lead against the Bucs. Sean McVay is 40-0 when leading at halftime as coach of the Rams, which is incredible. So I think there's a big disparity in coaching, and I'm going with the Rams.
Nice.
Next,
all right,
we'll keep it rolling. We'll go in reverse order here. The Panthers at Cowboys. Again, this is a game between two teams that are probably going to score some points. I know that the Panthers are not going to have Christian McCaffrey this week, but I feel like a lot of the time we've seen it before with last year when they had Mike Davis come in. You see it with the Vikings with Alexander Madison coming in. Running backs, a lot of the time, are a product of their system, not taking anything away from Christian McCaffrey. He's obviously one of the best offensive skill players in the league. But for short periods of time, I wouldn't be surprised to see Chuba Hubbard come in and kind of, not match the same production, but be serviceable back there. I think running backs are very replaceable. So I think that the Panthers will still be able to stay in this game without their best player. But at the end of the day, Dak and the Cowboys offense looks unstoppable right now. You saw what they did to Tampa Bay. They scored like 20 points against the Chargers, I think, but then right back to 41 last week against Philadelphia. They're just a wagon on offense, and I think that they're going to roll past the Panthers.
You got?
So I'm actually doing a double down here. So I'm
double down.
Yeah, so I'm going to take the Cowboys and the Cowboys -5. I mean, I'm a huge believer. I'm a huge believer in the Cowboys. Dak Prescott looks super sharp. Their offense looks incredible. And like we were saying before, you asked me about Sam Darnold. I'm not sold on him. They played 3 really mediocre teams, the Panthers I'm talking about. So I'm not ready to believe that they're, just because they're 3-0, I'm not ready to believe it yet. So I'm going to go with the better, more experienced team in the Cowboys.
All right. First difference here of the show. You know where I'm going. Taking the Carolina Panthers. Obviously missing Christian McCaffrey, is a big deal. But I think they showed last week they sort of let Darnold loose in the second half, put the game in his hands, and he delivered. I think it's going to be a nice high-scoring game. But the Panthers pass rush is playing out of their minds right now. They're going to miss J.C. Horn out there. But I think they're really going to take advantage of that missing right tackle, Lael Collins. They're going to be sending Burns, Reddick. They got Fox and Brown. They're going to be coming at the quarterback. So I think that'll, rattle Dak a little bit, be able to keep them in the game. And I'm going to pick the Panthers to come out on top here and go 4-0, get their first convincing win of the season. Nice. I think it honestly might be a little benefit not having McCaffrey there, knowing you can't rely on him all the time. Maybe they can open up the playbook a little bit. Not a benefit, but, it may, like, in terms of just coaching, you have him there, you want to use him all the time. Maybe now they got to dig deeper in the playbook and, break out some stuff.
I think we'll learn a lot more about Sam Darnold in this game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Thank you for tuning in, Melda. He said he's leaving, but thank you for tuning in.
We love you, Melda.
Yeah. Thanks for tuning in. I'm going to agree with Richard on this one. I'm going to take the Panthers. Say what you will about their opponents so far this season, but they're only, regardless of their opponents, they're only giving up 45 yards on the ground per game, only 2 touchdowns through the air so far. 3 touchdowns through the air so far this entire season. The Dallas offense certainly looked great yesterday, but I think this Carolina Panthers defense, as Richard said, is going to give them some problems on the offensive side of the ball. Like Richard said, like everyone said, McCaffrey won't be there, but they still have some decent weapons with DJ Moore, Robbie Anderson, and Terrence Marshall also is looking like he might be overcoming Robbie Anderson for that second wide receiver spot. Pretty decent slot receiver. So I'm
Robbie
going
got
to
off
say,
to a really hot start though.
Who?
Robbie.
Oh yeah.
yeah, that one reception for 57 yards in the first game. Hot start. So yeah, I'm gonna say Terrence Marshall has a big game, and the Panthers win it.
Nice. I like it. All right. Time for the spreads. Alex, we do our round robin, so you are first once again.
All right, I'll start it off. My first spread pick is going to be Packers -6.5 against the Steelers. The Packers, their offense.
I'm sorry, what was it? Minus how much?
-6.5.
6.5. At least that's what I'm seeing right now on the ESPN app.
Yeah.
Packers, their offense looks like it was back in action against the 49ers on Sunday night. And the Steelers, the spread isn't small, but the Steelers are going to be without, maybe without Deontay Johnson, possibly without Juju Smith-Schuster, maybe without TJ Watt. Those are 3 of their best players on both sides of the ball. Ben Roethlisberger looks like a complete mess. Their offense looks like a joke, even when those guys are in the lineup. So I think the Packers are going to have their way with the Steelers. So give me Packers -6.5.
I like it. All right. I'm going to blow everyone's mind here. Taking the Giants +8 against the Saints. I like we've talked about Jameis Winston. He's still that inconsistent player. Had a good first week 1, bad week 2, plays pretty well week 3. It's on to week 4. I think we're going to see another inconsistent Jameis game. Giants stay in it. +8. Give me the New York Giants.
Where is this game?
It's in New Orleans, or is in Jacksonville because they don't play at home. So neutral site +8. I like it.
All right. I'm going to take. Go ahead.
They've also played close, and they lost every game, but they've played close in every game. So
yes, they have. They were actually the favorites last week, though, so they did not cover. They were -3 for the Falcons, which is weird. But anyway, I'll go next. I'm going to take the Cleveland Browns at -2 against the Minnesota Vikings. Again, this is a game that could definitely be a shootout. I think there's going to be a lot of high-scoring games this week. The Vikings can move the ball. We saw it. They just beat Seattle. They put up a lot of points. I know Seattle's defense is not very good. Cleveland's is obviously way better. But when you have Thielen, Jefferson, I know Dalvin Cook was out last week, but like I said before, Madison picked up right where he left off. He looked great. He was at over 100 rushing yards. So I think that the Vikings will be able to score. And shout out Kirk Cousins having the best year of his career to start out here. He looks very good. So I'm hyping up the Vikings a lot, and I'm taking the Browns because I just think that Cleveland, their defense right now looks like it could be the best in the NFL. We saw what they just did to Justin Fields, like we mentioned. 9 sacks in one game is just absurd. When you have Myles Garrett and Jadeveon Clowney on the line, they're going to cause problems for every single offensive line. And -2 points, I mean, they score in bunches, obviously, with Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt, the best 1-2 punch in the league. They will get their yards. They will get their points. And I'm just expecting the defense to shut them down. -2, just win the game, basically. A lot of the time, You don't really see a 1-point win. Maybe you do. Maybe that'll come back to bite me in the ass, but I'll take -2.
I like it. Who's up, Igal?
Well, I did mine. The Cowboys
you did the
-5. Yeah, that was my first pick.
All right. Well, you can go. We all have one left to go.
So you can go.
You can start.
So my next pick, I'm gonna pick the Tampa Bay Bucks -6.5 in New England. I think Tom Brady's going to have a nice comeback week, give them a show down in New England, and Mac Jones sucks. Yeah, so let's ride with them.
All right, I'm going to follow Kirby here. I'm actually shocked that the Baltimore Ravens are getting points against the Denver Broncos. 3-0, they've beaten, like Kirby said, the Jets, Giants, and Jaguars. Those teams are 0-9. This seems like a game that the Ravens can win by 20 points. I really don't understand. I know that, the Broncos kind of have a good defense, but again, they've played the worst teams in the NFL, especially on offense. I think the Ravens are going to win this one very easily, and I'll gladly take 1 point. Why not?
I like
Seems too good to be true.
Right? That's very
Alex,
weird.
do you have one ready? Because I'm really stuck between two. And
I'm stuck between two, but just to keep things interesting, I do want to take the Ravens, but I'm not going to go the same way as Matt here. I'm going to take the Titans -7.5 against the Jets. I just don't see the Titans only winning this by a touchdown or less, or losing, obviously. It doesn't matter to me that the Jets are at home. Home field advantage, I don't think, is a thing for a team as bad as the Jets. I will take Titans by over a touchdown.
all right, I settled. This is a tough one. I'm going to take Seahawks +2.5 in San Francisco. This is a big game for them. San Francisco's 2-1. The Rams are 3-0. The Seahawks are 1-2. They cannot afford to lose this game. And go back a few games on both of these teams. And the Cardinals are 3-0 as well, right? Or
Yeah.
Yes.
So this is a huge game for the Seahawks if they want to be in the playoff mix in this tough division. So they got to come to play. So +2.5, I'm taking the Seahawks in San Francisco.
That's going to be a good game. We could have picked that one, too.
Yeah.
A lot of good games.
Yeah, it was tough, but we had to pick the Panthers and the Cowboys. That was a requirement.
Yeah.
All right.
So there you have it.
That brings us to the end of our show. Melda's back. I'm back. Just put together my 16-team parlay that I'll lose on Monday. Nice.
Oh, you're like Tony and the other guy in Vegas.
Yeah.
Jesus, no. I hope you got the Jets money line in there, like you said.
Yeah. So those are our picks. Fun show today, I was going to say. Chat was popping. We had some people get in here that we haven't had before. Tell people about it. We go live every Tuesday. If you have friends that like to talk football, we will interact with you in the chat. It's fun. So tell people about it, and thank you for tuning in as always. And you guys have any last words?
Sayonara.
No.
Thank you,
See
everybody.
you next week.
And hopefully the Jets are not 0-4.